Hello everyone, I'm really excited to be with you today as part of the Be Awesome Erasmus Plus project. Today, we will explore together the world of Scratch. First of all, what is this software? Scratch is a high-level, block-based virtual programming language. With Scratch, users can create and share interactive stories, games, and animations. Scratch allows users to drag and drop code blocks rather than type out code. Projects in Scratch can be shared to the community. But why Scratch is good? It improves problem solving and critical thinking skills. It builds confidence and it improves communication and collaboration skills. Let's see how we can use Scratch. First of all, we have to open our web browser. Then we have to navigate to Scratch official website. So we have to type scratch.mit.edu and we have the official website of Scratch. Now we have to create our account. So we have to press Join Scratch and we have to choose a username. So let's write our username. Then we have to create our password. After writing the username and the password, just click Next. Then choose your country. Then the month and the year you are born. And then choose your gender and just press your email. For this part, ask your teacher's help. And then after adding your email, just click on Create Your Account. Then we have to select the motorcycle and the traffic lights. Then we have activated our account and we'll click Get Started. And here we can see our username and this is our account. Here we have 4 tabs. We have Create tab, which will use it to create our game. We have Explore tab, Ideas, and About. In Explore tab, if we click on it, we can see different games that a Scratch user create and share to the community. So we can click to a specific game and we can see inside this game and we can play as well the game. Okay, now we'll go to Ideas tab. In the Ideas tab, Scratch gives us some ideas about the games or about Imagine a World. So you can use this tab to take some ideas to create your own game. So this might be helpful for the teachers to teach the students how to create their games. Now we will move to the important tab, which is Create tab. And through this interface here, this environment, we will create our game. As you can see in this area, we have 3 columns. We have block palette, which is this one. We have coding area, which is used to move our blocks to this area and create our code. And we have stage area, which is our character with the background. So let's start with block palette. This area here allows us to select a specific block and add it to the coding area and program our character. As you can see here, we have different colors. We have motions, we have looks, we have sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. To add a new block to the coding area, we have to select it and move it to the coding area. Then if we want to delete this block, we can click on it and then we can move it outside of the coding area. Now for the stage area, we have this character. This character is called sprite. So we can choose another sprite by selecting this icon here, choose a sprite. If you select choose a sprite, we can see some options like choose a sprite, paint, and upload sprite. We will search a sprite by click choose a sprite. Then you can choose your own sprite. So for example, I will choose Ben. So click on Ben and Ben will be added to this area. Then if we want to delete the sprite one, which is the cat, we can click on it and then press the delete button. Then we have only Ben. To move Ben in this area, we have some options here. First, we have the name of the sprite and we have the coordinates. So here we can add, for example, 100 to the x-axis. Our sprite will move right. We have y-axis, which we can change that to 100 as well. Our sprite will move up. If we decrease this value to -100, our sprite will move left. And if we decrease this value to -100, our sprite will go down. So to move Ben at the center of this area, we can click 0 and 0 value. So 0 in the x-axis and 0 in y-axis mean that our sprite, Ben, in this case, is perfectly at the center. Moving on, we have size area, which if we increase this area to 150, our sprite will increase. If we change that to 50, our sprite will decrease its size. So you can change that according to your needs. I will put it back to 100. Now I will move to the direction tab. So with the direction tab, we can change the degrees and automatically our sprite will change the way it looks. So for example, 180 will look like this. If I put it back to 90, it will look like this. There are two arrows here. If you click on it, you can see if I change it a little bit, it's not changing. If you change it on the opposite direction, we can see that our sprite changes left or right. So if I have it -90, my sprite will look left. If I have it 90, my sprite will look right. So we will see those later on when we will create our code. Now I will choose my background by clicking here which says choose a backdrop. Again, I have some other options like choose a backdrop, paint, or upload a backdrop. I will choose a backdrop. Click on that and we can see different backgrounds. For example, I will choose blue sky. Okay, so I add my background, I have added my sprite, so now it's time to create our code. So to make our sprite moves, I have to choose a certain blocks. First of all, from events, you have to navigate in events section and you have to find when flagged clicked block. Choose that block and move it to our area, our coding area. This block here means that when I click this flag, do the following actions. So this is an important part of our code. Then I have to go to motion area because I have to make my sprite move. So I have to go to motion and I have to click move 10 steps. When you put this block to the coding area, you have to connect it with when flagged click to create some actions. So now if I clicked my flag here, I can see Ben is moving. I can change 10 steps to -10 and click again. I can change to 20 and I can see Ben is moving faster, or I can change it to -30. Okay? So with move 10 steps, my sprite Ben will move right or left. Okay? So now I will put it move 10 steps. Then I can use turn 15 degrees block after move 10 steps. And if I click again on the flag, I can see Ben is moving right and then it turns and then it comes back. If I change these two arrows here to this arrow, I can see that if I click on the flag, Ben will move like this. So in that case, our sprite depends on the move that we add here, depends on the degrees that we put here, and depends on the direction on these arrows here. So if I have this arrow, my sprite will move in a circle way. If I have this arrow here, my sprite will move left or right. Okay, so I will choose this arrow for now. Then I have to remove this section here and we will use another blocks for the next exercise. So again, we have to go to events. We have to find the first block which says when flagged clicked. And then I have to go to motions again. From here, I will select turn 15 degrees. Then I have to go to control section, and here I can find some if statements and forever loops. From here I will choose forever loop after turning 15 degrees block, because I want these blocks inside forever loops to do these actions every time that I click the flag. So inside the forever loop I will put move 10 steps. That means that when I click the green flag, Ben will turn 15 degrees only once, and then it will move 10 steps forever. So if I click this flag here, I can see Ben it turns 15 degrees once, and then it moves 10 steps forever. And then I click the stop sign here to stop. Now I have to bring back Ben to the middle, so I will put again 0 and 0. And then, as we can see, Ben went to the edge here and it stays there. Now I have to make Ben bounce when it touched the edge. How can I do that? I have to find the block if on edge bounce, and then on direction I can change the direction to left and right. Then again, if I click the green flag here, I can see that Ben is moving 10 steps every time, and when it touches the edge it bounces back, so every time he is moving to the area. So we can create a lot of games with these blocks. Now I have to stop Ben moving. So those are some basic but really important blocks that we can use. For example, from motions we have to choose move 10 steps. We can choose turn a certain amount of degrees. We can select, for example, go to a random position every time when it starts. So when I click it, it starts from a random position. I can change X or Y. I can set X or Y a certain number. Then I can go to events, and from here the important block is when green flag clicked, then do something. So you can see that the first block that we add to our program is this one. And from control we can choose forever loop to do those actions forever, or we can select if statement, which means if Ben is touching the edge, then do something else, then turn, or then say something. We can add something to say by clicking on looks. And then, for example, when it starts, I want to say be awesome for 2 seconds. So when it starts, it will say be awesome for 2 seconds, and then we'll start again moving to this area. Sensing has some more advanced blocks that we can use. For example, if we click on space on our keyboard, do something, or if it touch our mouse, do something, if touch blue, do something else. So from those blocks you can create a really powerful games, interactive games and the students can use those games to teach really important things to the students. Hopefully you enjoyed our video, the introduction to Scratch, and stay with Biosome project to see more.